Today I've got two very popular, all solid, all mahogany travel guitars from two of my favorite brands. Gonna compare them. Stick around. How's it going, guys? This is Cooper Greenberg at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. We're trying to hit that 200K this year. Thank you for doing that. So, I got a Pioneer and a Martin 000 Junior. These are two guitars that were both released this year, have both become very hot items in our store, and for good reason. Martin refreshed the Junior line and made a bunch of changes that I think make them better guitars, and Furch introduced the Pioneers, and I'm going to start with this one because the Pioneer, if you have attempted to order one from us, we did a video on them when they first came in, and since then, all over the country, these guitars have been sold out on back order. I don't think Furch can make them fast enough. 4 different wood combinations. This, because the purposes of this video, is the all mahogany version. There's a cedar mahogany, spruce mahogany, and a spruce rosewood. All 4 of those guitars have been constantly on back order for us with a list of people's names that have pre-ordered them, and the moment that they come in, they are shipped out to those customers. This is the first one that we've had that's like, this is a stock guitar. We've caught up with some of the back orders. Furch has sent us pallets and pallets of these guitars, so I can finally do this because it has been asked. This all mahogany Furch Pioneer is just like, I think, what a lot of people dreamed of when it comes to a travel guitar. I'm comparing these two today because they're the same wood combo, but they're also all solid. So, solid mahogany top, solid mahogany back and sides. What sets this guitar apart from the Martin that I'll be talking about is this has cutaway. This has Furch's booster sound port to pump up a little bit of the volume. And also, this guitar is a shorter scale than that one. So we'll get more into that with the Martin, but if you want a shorter scale kind of travel guitar that's just got a different feel than maybe one of your full scale guitars, this is probably the one for you. But this guitar has definitely taken our store and others that carry Furch by storm because of how ridiculously popular these have been. And part of what goes into that, it's got Furch's CNR active neck adjustment. So I will be honest with you, we'll get into the demos. Hopefully you can't hear it because hopefully I'm good at, covering it up. Action on this one is a little high for my taste, and if that's the case, it's a 10-second adjustment to adjust your neck and make it play the way that you want it to. Every guitar that we've had with the new CNR Active has gone very quickly because that's, I don't think the CNR system previous, we still have some of those guitars, we still sell guitars with the older CNR system. It was a great neck system, but this has just made it so very, very convenient for people to make small adjustments when they want to, instead of having to go get a full setup, change up the neck angle, whatever. This is a quick adjustment. That's part of what makes this guitar special. Also, having an all-solid travel guitar with a cutaway there's not a lot out there. There's no other ones that we carry. I know that other brands make stuff like that, but first you got the fact that it's all solid, which the big bad wolf of small body travel guitars, aka GS Mini, does not have cutaway option. And then you got the all solid with the cutaway, the booster sound port, the CNR active neck. This guitar is dynamite, and it comes with a nice gig bag. All of the wood combinations sound great, and I will tell you more about what I think after the demos. But here is the Martin 000E Junior. Now, this is one of a large double handful of new Junior series that Martin put out. This, after the entire blowout of every single model that I did, I think this one is probably my favorite because it falls in line with a really cool kind of lineage of Martin all-solid, mahogany guitars. the 0010E, 0015E, 0015M, and now the 0017. All of those are variations of, that kind of wood combo. Obviously, Sapele is not mahogany, but this is an all-solid Sapele guitar, and, you get the mahogany kind of vibe from that. They're cousins. I don't know anything about taxonomy of trees or what genus of succulent, Sapele is versus mahogany, but let's just say this is a all mahogany-like guitar. So Furch is all mahogany, this one's all Sapele, but you got the solid top, solid back and sides. This one comes with a pickup. The Pioneer does not. And I will say I don't necessarily care about cutaways as much. A lot of people dig the Pioneer because it has a cutaway. There are other Martin Juniors that have cutaways if that's your thing. The thing that I think is the sort of new big benefit of the new Junior series is that they are 24.9-inch scale. So if you like a Martin 000 or that scale of Martin full-size guitar, that's what you get on this. So it would be easier maybe to transition from your full-size guitar to this one and not have it feel different. But I do think that's a bit of a double-edged sword because when these came out, a lot of people were like, sweet, full scale. Some other people that I talked to were like, well, that's kind of what I liked about the other ones, that they were short scale guitars. So do with that information what you will. These guitars both have open gear tuners. This one is interesting because in that previous video when we talked about all the new Juniors, I thought that they were all the same, and then this one, every restock we've gotten has had those black buttons, so I think it does sort of play into the aesthetic of those other, the 0010, 0015, whatever. That's kind of the look, but this guitar sounds wildly different than the Pioneer. I will let you hear them, but I think the difference will be pretty obvious. Who's getting more volume, who's getting more warmth, they're very, very different from each other. So take a listen. you go. Little sound sample. Now, first thing that stood out to me about these when I was playing them, this one is way louder. And that might be from my perspective, not necessarily the listener's perspective. It does have the sound port. That does technically, I guess, make it louder to the person that is playing it because you got some sound coming back through there. But I also think, I mean, they're both very light guitars. This one feels a little bit lighter, and it just feels like it kind of breathes and opens up more. Over here, though, you have a hardwood top. So that's obviously, I mean, I guess they're both hardwood tops, but I don't know. I'm trying to justify why maybe this one's quieter. I just think there's something about Martin sort of hardwood top, mahogany-esque top sound that is a little bit, kind of toned down, good for finger picking, but has a little bit lower of a volume headroom. But if you want a louder guitar, if you want a cutaway or whatever, there are more options with spruce tops, cutaways, there's Street Master options, there's basses. You get kind of a wider range of construction types with the Martin Junior. And you would think that maybe a longer scale length would push it out a little bit more, but who knows. So over here, like I said, you have 4 different tone wood options. I like the all mahogany one. The one that has been most popular has been the spruce rosewood, and as of right now, there's no spruce rosewood option in the Martin Junior catalog. But let's get into a couple things that may inform why there's a pretty decent price difference, especially when you're in this sort of range. So this one right now, I believe, is $749. This one's right about $1,000. And I think part of what goes into that is the material costs. So this one has ebony bridge and fingerboard, and it's mahogany. And, there's also a bit more construction stuff that goes into it with the sound port, with the cutaway. It makes sense to me that this is about $1,000 guitar. I think this is a great value at $749. There is a less expensive one. I think it's $699. So you can go for an all solid Martin at $699. But this one, it does have a pickup. This one doesn't. They both come with gig bags. In terms of materials, the fingerboard, bridge, and neck on this guitar are listed as select hardwood. So more Martin jargon for things that can apply out of a pool, and who knows how many things fit in there. I know that Martin would never put anything on a guitar that's not suited for the purpose that is put on the guitar for. So they're not going to put a bridge and fingerboard material that are going to fall apart or be way too soft. They're not going to put a neck that's going to bow easily. They're all materials that are made to do the job that they're done for. I don't know if grammar works there, but basically what I'm getting at is you don't know what you're getting, but you are getting something that is about, a quarter, 3/4. I don't know math or grammar or anything. This one's $1,000, this one's $750. That's all I'm trying to get at. So you're paying more for this, but it's got ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard, mahogany, cutaway, sound port, gig bag, no electronics. And then this one, it's a Martin. It's all solid, no cutaway, but pickup and, a little bit of mystery meat on some of the woods. But does that matter? Should that matter? I don't know. I don't think any of that stuff's going to affect the sound or the playability. And I think the new Martin Juniors are better than the last ones. I'm always surprised, even though this one was even louder, I'm surprised at the fullness of the sound you get out of these. And they've, with the refresh, have kind of reinvigorated people and gotten more people into these, because regardless of how popular these are, there's still an uphill battle to reach the GS Mini. But if you think about it, GS Mini, there's no GS Mini with all solid wood, and that's really one of the most important, maybe, but impactful things to the sound of an acoustic guitar is when you get into all solid wood. Then you're changing up sounds and picking the one that's right for you, and you get options on both of these with tops over here, with tops and backs and sides over here. So there you go. Couple all solid, all mahogany travel guitars. Both are great buys for people that I think are looking for something like this. And when we have spruce top Pioneers in stock at the same time as spruce top Martin Juniors in stock, obviously we will compare them. I think these are sort of a guitar for anybody, be it somebody who's just getting started, somebody who's a little bit smaller, somebody who's traveling. Huge collection, no collection, they're just fun guitars to play. And I love Furch, I love Martin. I think that they are both doing a lot of cool things. And if you love the Furch Little Jane but didn't want to spend $2,000 on a collapsing guitar, you got that option. And if you love your 0015 or 17 and you want a little one to bring along, now you got that option. So really good stuff, very fun to play. I would like to hear what your favorite is. Go back through, correct all my grammar and my math. I don't know how to talk anymore, but I do know how to play, and that's all that matters. So if you want to know more about the specs on these, they're both on our website, alamomusic.com. If they're out of stock, we got more coming. Talk to us about reserving one maybe, or just let us know to let you know when we get more. We'll give you a call. You can come play them in the store, hit us up online, call us, text us, whatever you want to do, and we'll see you next time.